what's up you guys? Kat from Old Redding Farm. Thanks for joining me today. In today's video, you're stuck with me, sorry, boys. I'm gonna give you an update on a kitchen. The countertop went in yesterday and there's like a surprise twist that I'll tell you about. I'm taking care of the animals right now. John is at an event this weekend. He's doing today's event and I'm going to do tomorrow's. And then I'm gonna run around and take care of all of the animals. I just finished letting out the chickens, fed the emus, gonna feed all the alpacas now, and then I'll show you the kitchen. So that guy is sitting on eggs. I'm not sure, haven't checked how many eggs. I'm not sure if John has checked either. I'm a little too scared to check because this guy is always looking like he wants to kill me. This is a girl, not a guy. And this is our third wheel, who's friendlier. Hello. She's looking at my fingernails. It's good. Yeah, they're pretty intense. This is like eye level right now. So with the emus, we hatched one of our own eggs, and then I'm being followed. I was making some like interesting decisions where I was like buying eggs from another person and then selling my own eggs. And that ended up being a really bad choice because everybody who I sold eggs to sent me like pictures and videos being like, look, I've got a baby, or like, oh, the eggs pipped, I'm so excited. And the eggs, I spent $300 on 10 eggs from another person and none of those hatched. So just like, what a trash investment. If I had just kept a few of my own eggs, I could have had way more babies, but I was kind of being greedy because I was selling our eggs for more than this person was selling their eggs for. So I was like, oh, I'll sell mine and just buy some. But I guess you get what you pay for, right? Oh gosh. So our shearing date is coming in. Pardon the mud. The weather has just been atrocious. And that's actually what I wanted to mention. I hope that on our shearing date, we have good weather. I'm like really, really hopeful. I think it's May 3rd, maybe. We're going to be shearing everybody. I want to get a good look at Felix because he's looking so fluffy and adorable. Oh, he looks like a wet mop right now, but Felix is just too cute. To his right is Kevin, back behind is Glacier. This is Waffle, the curly guy back there. We ended up going with Dale. Carl right there, if everybody didn't see the reel where John was ranking the alpacas and called Carl last. And Winston is here. These are the boys. Felix, thanks for showing us your fluff, even though it's wet and crazy. Oh, boys. Look at all the daffodils that are blooming. Don't those look so nice? Yellow there. Nice to have some color when everything's so brown. Oh, and our grass is looking pretty good. We did some reseeding in this pasture. Try to take advantage of some of that rain. I guess it doesn't look great. It looks great like right in the middle, right there where it gets a ton of sun. All right, let's go feed the girls. There's some really pretty daffodils in here. This was like the only blend that we got that had like some really nice pretty varieties. Right, we got some swarming alpacas ready to be fed big time. They're like, lady, shut up and feed us. The brownie right up front. Little Aspen, she's so wet. Oh gosh, everything is soaked. Hi, Brownie. All right, do some fan favorites. It's Jojo. Y'all picked her name. Oh, that's Petal. She's my favorite. She's not really a fan favorite. Macy. Oh, excuse me. This is Macy. She's everybody's favorite. And then that's Barbara right there. Oh, this must be Willow. She's always the one with attitude. Sweet girls. And that's another one of my favorites in the back right there. That's Silver. Macy. All right, I'm gonna stop dicking around and feed these girls. There's always some jockeying while the girls fight for the best food dish, but things usually settle down. I try to get them filled quickly because otherwise by the time I finish filling all the containers, like the first one I filled is empty, so the faster I fill them, the better. All right, ready to feast your eyes onto my reselected countertops? How about these? Oh gosh, I just love them so much to only say nice things about them. They're kind of green and creamy. There's like a little bit of like, I don't know, brownish. I've got these really pretty like crystally bits. My faucet. Ooh, and this is the John's little coffee station, but it's got some like really pretty glittery pieces in it. See there? So in making this change, I was probably like our contractor's nightmare. He only works with this one granite yard, and I knew that going into it. But when he was telling me about it, he was like, yeah, they specialize in really like unique and interesting stone, da da da. And I was like, that sounds perfect. So I get there, and it's not that many aisles. It's maybe like 4 aisles of slab. And some of the slabs are materials that I'm not really interested in, like granite. Granite is very like 90s to me. I don't really care for it personally. So like that eliminated a whole aisle. So like 1/4 of all of the selections. And then within the 3 remaining aisles, there was a lot of marble, which is a beautiful material, but it's very sensitive to like staining, and you have to do a lot of sealing. And I know a lot of people in their houses have marble and it always looks really great, but I was just worried that I'm not like quite responsible enough for it. So that eliminated like another whole aisle for me. So then of the like half of the varieties that were left, there's a lot of countertop space in this kitchen now, which is like super nice. So I needed to get a big enough slab because some of the slabs were a little bit smaller, and then I wouldn't have enough countertop. So that also lowered the number of choices I had. So at the end of the day, price not being an issue, I had probably 15 choices, and I liked some of them. I was like, yeah, I could probably make this work, yada yada. But this countertop, this exact countertop, the green, it's in a house that I dog walk for, and every time I go to that house, I'm like, that countertop it's beautiful. I love everything about it. And I had taken a picture of it before I did my countertop shop, and I had showed the kitchen contractor guy, and he was like, yeah, I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm sure we'll be able to find something nice like it. And there was nothing like it. And I showed it to the granite guy, like the guy in charge of that place. And he was like, yeah, I don't really know what that is. We don't have anything like that. And I was like, oh gosh. So I picked out that white countertop that had like the gray veins, which was gonna be fine. But like, I wasn't really going for fine in this kitchen. We're spending a lot of money, and I have obviously quit my job in the meantime. So I had like intentionally saved up all this money from when I had that very, very, very stressful job. And this kitchen was like what I was going to spend that money on. So I was like, why am I getting a countertop that I like don't really care for? So I came home after doing the template of the original countertop that you guys saw and voted on. Pepper starter on her food bowl. So I came home, and I was talking to John, and I was just like, the slab is only a certain size. So I went to do the template, and there was only one way to lay it out. Not that I really cared how it was laid out, because I didn't really care about the countertop. Like, this is first world problems, okay? I recognize that. So if you're like turned off by people having first world problems, probably just skip this whole video. But I was telling John, and I was like, I just didn't really like it. And there was like a blue slab outside, and I was like, oh, see, that's pretty. And I was telling John, I was just like, I don't really like it. And he was like very alarmed when I said that, because we're spending, I think the countertop in the original bid was like $6,000. So we were spending a lot of money on a countertop, and he was like, did you just say you don't like it? He's like, then don't buy it. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, it's too late. Like, I picked it out weeks ago, and it's already at the template place. And John was like, it is not too late. He was like, if it's not cut, it's not too late. So we like hung up the phone. No, we were talking in person. We like stopped what we were doing. He got on the phone with the template guy, and he was like, don't cut that countertop. He was like, you know, we're with this company. This is our last name. Don't cut that countertop until you hear back from us. Do not cut it. Is it already cut? And they were like, no. And he was like, okay, great, don't. So we called the contractor. We had like a pretty uncomfortable conversation about how we don't really like the countertop. And I was looking for like other choices, and he only will shop at that one place. So I was just like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. And John was like, who cares if that's the only place he'll shop? You can go anywhere else. And they just like won't be involved in it. So I asked the people who I dog walk for where they got their countertop, and everyone got the same exact one, because I'm a copycat. I love it so much. I think their countertop is lovely, and now I have it too, and I feel so lucky and happy. And oh, the best part about this, so the original countertop that I did not like was $6,000. This was like half of that, literally half. And when I was talking to the people that I dog walk for, it was in person, so it was easy to use like tone. It wasn't over text message or anything. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. It was probably really expensive, right? And he was like, yeah, it was pretty expensive. And like, these people, they own a business in town. So, and they've renovated their whole house, like down to the studs, they told me one time. So I was like, oh my gosh, these people. And they used a designer, they also told me. So I was like, oh gosh, this countertop is going to be so expensive. But John was like, who cares? We're only going to renovate this kitchen like once. We're going to live here for 30 years. So like, over the course of 30 years, even if you way blow the countertop budget, like, what difference is it going to make 30 years from now? So while I was waiting at the countertop place where they recommended me to, they had to like move some things to get one of these slabs out for me to look at. I was like, oh, is this like really expensive? And she was like, no, this is a really affordable material. It's dolomite. I was like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah. She was like, it's nothing compared to like Carrara marble or something like that. She's like, it's a very affordable material. And I was like, oh, okay. So I looked at the slab, I approved it, and they sent the estimate, and it was so low that John emailed them back thinking that that was just the materials cost. And he was like, great, and do you guys install it? Because now our contractor won't touch it because he's like not involved with the countertop. And they were like, that is the install price. We were just like, oh my God. Like, oh, it was just like, oh, it was the best news. So good. So good. Oh, okay, yeah, so I'm excited again. Yay!
All right, guys, so after Catherine was finished making the video, our backsplash went in. And so this is going to be right behind where the stove is. So the stove is going to fit right in here. Backsplash is right in here. And then we're going to have a hood with the vent up here. So I guess they're just going to drill right into the tile, which is why we saved some of the tile yet. But anyway, so it looks, what do you think? Looks pretty good. Cat's happy with it. That's the most important part, even though I partially ruined it by saying it looks like chain link. Should really just learn to just... Looks great, dear. Love it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully next week it'll be done.